to the Time Warner Arena in Charlotte. It's time for NASCAR's best pit crews to have their time in the spotlight.
Their performance on pit road can make or break a race. Fractions of a second can be the difference between finishing first and finishing last. Those seconds have never meant more than they do tonight, as the title of the 2011 NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge Championship is on the line. Tonight we find out who will be the best in the business as the pit crews take center stage. Will we crown our first ever repeat champion, or will an underdog steal the show? Pit Crew fans, it's time. Let's meet the teams in tonight's NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge presented by Craftsman. Up first, please welcome this year's Bud Shootout winning team, the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Dodge team from Penske Racing, and Daytona 500 champions, the number 21 Good Sam Camping World Ford team from Wood Brothers Racing. Next up is the reigning NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge champions, the number 11 FedEx Express Toyota team from Joe Gibbs Racing, and the number 9 Stanley Ford team from Richard Petty Racing. Third out of the gate tonight is the number 43 Best Buy Ford crew from Richard Petty Motorsports, and the number 27 Menard Chevrolet team from Richard Childress Racing. Up next is the number 16 3M4 team from Roush Fenway Racing, and the 2006 NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge champions, the number 1 Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet team from Earnhardt Ganassi Racing. Coming out fifth tonight is the number 14 Office Depot Mobile One Chevrolet team from Stewart Haas Racing. And first-time winners in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in 2011, the number 78 Furniture Row Racing Chevy team. Up next is this year's Phoenix race winning team, the number 24 DuPont Chevrolet from Hendrick Motorsports, and the number 56 Napa Toyota team from Michael Waltrip Racing. Being introduced seventh tonight is the number 42 Target Chevrolet team from Earnhardt Ganassi Racing, and the number 4 Red Bull Toyota team from Red Bull Racing. Up next, let's meet the number 5 GoDaddy.com Chevrolet team from Hendrick Motorsports, and the 00 Aaron's Dream Machine Toyota from Michael Waltrip Racing. Up next with 2 wins each so far this season is the number 29 Budweiser Chevrolet team from Richard Childress Racing, and the number 17 Crown Royal Ford team from Roush Fenway Racing. Out 10th tonight is the number 39 U.S. Army Chevrolet team from Stewart Haas Racing, and the race winners from Las Vegas Motor Speedway earlier this year, the number 99 Aflac Ford from Roush Fenway Racing. Up next, a pair of Hendrick Motorsports team cars, the number 88 Ant National Guard Chevrolet, and the number 5-time Sprint Cup Series champion 48 Lowe's Chevrolet team. And finally, our top 2 seeds tonight, the number 33 Cheerios Chevrolet team from Richard Childress Racing, and our top seed tonight with 2 wins so far this season, the number 18 M&M's Toyota team from Joe Gibbs Racing. Well, what do you say, fans? Let's hear it for more.
Coming up, an all-star version of bracketology, team versus team, coming up here on Speed.
If you only had 12 seconds, how would you make your mark? Where would you find the strength, the fire, the passion that brings a crowd to its feet and the competition to its knees? If you only had 12 seconds, could you become a champion? Only a few will find that they have what it takes. As the NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge gets underway now.
Speed welcomes you to the 7th NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge at the Time Warner Cable Arena in Uptown Charlotte, North Carolina. On Saturday night, one driver will walk away with $1 million, but tonight, Charlotte, the home base for so many of the NASCAR Sprint Cup teams, wives are here, kids are here, and families are here as well. It is all about bragging rights. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Burns. So glad you're with us. Tonight, you will see individual intensity, amazing athleticism, and tremendous teamwork as bragging rights on the line for the unsung, the hidden heroes, if you will, the backbone of this sport. For more on what you'll see tonight, let's go to Bob Dillner.
Well, Steve, you want to talk about pure adrenaline? This is it. 24 of NASCAR's best teams going head-to-head. Plenty of athleticism, as you talked about, plus true grit. And a big payday on the line. I am in front of the big scoreboard here at the Time Warner Arena. And all the fans here and at home will be able to keep track with this scoreboard of all the round winners. And we already had a round earlier this evening. The seeding round for the top 8 in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series point standings. They actually get a bye to the second round. And the first round qualifier, the fastest in that seeding round, was the 18 M&M's bunch for Kyle Busch. They were the quickest, and partly because they had no penalties. And penalties were a big story because more than half of those teams in the seeding round had penalties. Now to my buddies, the crew chiefs for Speed, Larry McReynolds and Jeff Hammond.
Well, Bob, thanks a lot. And, yeah, we're really excited about being here. I hope everybody here in this entire place is ready to get it on because these guys, we got a lot of athletes here, Larry. We got football players, baseball players, guys who have grown up in this sport. But we've been talking about it. The only way you can be the champion, you've got to be perfect.
Well, what I love about the night is these pit crews, they're going to make somewhere around 350 to 400 stops over the course of a season. But tonight, these pit stops, the focus will be on them. You have to hit it perfect with the jack, with the lug nuts, putting the fuel in these cars. It's all about precision. It's all about teamwork. And then you'll have that 40-yard push that these guys will have to be spot on.
Yeah, you really do, Larry. But also, you see the good. But sometimes, well, you have mistakes that are made. Watch here as the jackman comes around. They're throwing everything at it. You got to be kind of like reckless, and you see what can happen. You can make a mistake. It can cost you as well as your team. Sometimes you get so excited. Well, what's normally natural to you, you make a mistake. You can't get it taken care of. Looky here, a mistake putting fuel in the car. All of these things will cost you in the end, and that's what it's all about. You got to be perfect. I mean, they're still throwing caution and win. Check this out. This is not the way you want to do it. Ooh, that makes me hurt today.
Yeah, that's not what teamwork is all about right there. But, okay, Jeff, who do you like tonight?
Well, I'm telling you right now, from down on pit road, they're talking about the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 4 of Casey Kane, and our defending champion, the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
And what these guys want to see when they're finished with their stop, they want to see 0. That means no penalties. They don't want to see something like this. Uh-oh, 5-second penalty. Is everybody ready to get this pit crew party started? All right.
Now the table is set for the 2011 NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge at the Time Warner Cable Arena. All-Star Week is underway here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So many of the teams, 95% of them, in fact, located within a 30-mile radius of the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the Speedway just 9 miles north and east of uptown Charlotte, North Carolina. The first 2 teams to go out, see them rolling into position, the 22 of Penske and the 21 of Wood Brothers, and of course the 21 car won the Daytona 500 with Trevor Bayne aboard. Breaking news late this afternoon. They will participate here tonight, but Trevor Bayne still not racing. Still seeing doctors, recovering from symptoms that he suffered 4 weeks ago. Let's take a look at the members making up the 22 team. Chris Williams, the gas man. Braxton Brandon, the second gas man. Then it's Jay Hackney, Dave Litta, Ray Gallahan, Larry Robinette, Jonathan Billy, Chris Williams, and Braxton Brandon. A lot of veterans.
And just remember, in this first round, you're trying to win the individual competition. That's what this first round is about, plus trying to advance to round number 2 as far as a team.
We're going to say it all night long, guys. No mistakes. No mistakes. We talk about perfection tonight. If you want to continue on, you've got to be perfect.
And, Jeff, a look at the 21 team. And this is their time to shine. As we said, they will not race Saturday night in the All-Star race.
And we're taking a look right there. Mike Smith, the gas man. He's been with the 21 team for 21 years, his entire racing career.
Jackman Jeremy Neely loves to cook. Loves meatloaf. Mama, meatloaf.
Ma, what are you doing back there?
There's Mike Smith right there, the 21 team.
Chris Williams, the gas man for the Penske Group.
And Steve, we want to point out right quick, if you notice these gas men, we're still using the old style. Everybody agreed that we wanted to stay with that. It was going to make it easier on the team.
Last year's fueling system.
Yeah, so that's everybody agreed to that.
Choreographed chaos. Here it comes.
A bunch of kamikaze pilots is what I want to call it right now. I mean, it's all out, and you got to give it your all. You already see that Jackman. He's down and running. And this is also really interesting where this whole team swarms this race car.
You see, you have to hit that button right there. That's what stops your individual clocking. But on the push, looks like the 22 Penske team, they're going to beat them by a car length back down there. 22:52, which is the fastest time of the night so far.
And we expect to see a new record here this evening. And again, there you see it. You see a 3-second penalty. We'll talk about that all night.
Yeah, that's the deciding factor right now. We're going to keep harping on that from the beginning to the end. And folks, right now you're looking at what the individual competition is going on during this first round that Larry was talking about between the Jackman, Gasman, front and rear tire changers.
No penalties for the 22 team.
Chris Williams?
Yeah, Chris Williams doing a great job.
Didn't see any spillage whatsoever. You're trying to get all that fuel in there and then trying to get down there to start that push.
A little bit of bobble right there on the rear. Not bad.
Jason Romsberg.
He almost forgot to push the button on his individual timing.
Well, you know, Jeff, I talked about athleticism. Great shot there. 5 on, 5 off.
He almost did forget to push his button, Jeff, like you said.
Yep, he did.
But, guys, I talked about the athleticism. The crowd favorite is this push. They love it. The fans love seeing those guys having to push those big cars.
That's all about teamwork. Kurt Busch was actually guiding the 22 car for his boys.
And it's great to see the drivers here supporting their team. So the 22 advances. You see their next matchup is with the 18 team from Joe Gibbs Racing. Our next matchup, the number 9 Stanley Tools.
Steve, I think
Ford.
it's going to be important to try to point out, people might say, well, how in the world did Marcus Ambrose get here? That great run that he had last week is what catapulted him up into the points to where he could qualify to be in this competition.
That's right. These teams are in Saturday night's All-Star race. And, Larry, you talked about it, the defending champions, the 2010 FedEx Toyota team out of Joe Gibbs Racing. See if they can defend their championship.
Mike Lepp, the pit crew coach for him.
Let's take a look at their championship run 1 year ago.
I mean, these guys were on it every single stop. They almost got faster as the night went on, Jeff.
Look at here, Mike Ford, the crew chief. This is what it's all about. Once you win it, just kind of let it go. Taking a look right there at the gas man, Scott Wood. He's a former football player. A lot of great athletes on all of these teams.
Nick Prismanich, Brandon Pegram, Mike Hicks, Heath Cherry, Nate Bowling.
And Steve, I mentioned it earlier. A lot of people down in the pit are saying, watch this 11 group right now. They are incredible. They've been very fast during the practice sessions.
Nate Bowling, the defending individual champion. Jack Man from 1 year ago.
Take a look right there. We saw Scott Wood again with his backup gas man. And I'm telling you right now, Justin White is an animal. I mean, he is a big, big man.
Rodney Rhodes, Greg Ebert, gas man. Aaron Powell, the front tire changer. Joel Cornell, his carrier. Then it's Justin Fiedler and Eric Wallace on the rear. Mitch Lash, the jack man.
Yeah, there's actually 3 men down there in the box for each team in the gas block, but the one guy, he can't push, he can't even leave the box. All he can do is hand the second can and take the empty can from the guys.
Well, like I said, you take a look at these two guys here. Again, Scott Wood and I work together. You see him there with you back to you, former middle linebacker, but look at the man behind him that's a second can. He, like I say, he used to play football. He's just incredible as far as the strength. They say when he gets behind this car and the push, Steve, you're talking about it, then all of a sudden they catch another gear.
Mitch Lash, jack man for the 19. Right side, left side, hits the button.
Hear those air wrenches scream. 11 team with a slight edge out of the box, but they're pulling away, Jim.
Hey, I think they just hit the boost right there, and they were cruising into 22-42.
So they beat the 22 team by 1/10 of a second. We keep getting closer and closer to that record of 22-11.
Saw crew chief Mike Ford. He thinks his team is the best in the business. And hearing the 9 team having a 5-second penalty. Gas spillage. And boy, Scott Wood got to that car so fast on the 11 team.
Ooh, that's what near miss right there.
Aaron Powell, the front tire changer. And you see the 11 car. It's an easy victory for that Joe Gibbs Racing team.
They just put a number on the board is all they did, folks. They've got more to do yet.
The NASCAR Sprint Crew Challenge is presented on speed by Polaris. The hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by Bank of America, the official bank of NASCAR. And by Sprint, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Friday, the battle will rage in Charlotte as racing's roughest truckers mix it up under the lights in a high-speed fight to the finish. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Charlotte tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern, live on Speed. Greg Biffle and Casey Kane here to support their pit crew teams. Up next, it's the 43 from Richard Petty Motorsports against the 27 of Richard Childress Racing.
That's Sandra Robinson driving that 27 car. Been Richard Childress' personal assistant for years and years. You want someone nice and light inside that car. We put a lot of weight in there.
We call that unsprung weight.
And you want very little of it.
Brett Cumming is the pit crew coach for the 43. Matt Clark, veteran pit crew coach at Richard Childress Racing. There's Kurt Bowman, the gas man. This could very well be his last appearance. He said his stomach was inside out. He needs knee replacement surgery, but he's going to give it a go tonight.
Steve, what did his wife tell him?
She said, go big or don't go at all.
If you're going to blow it out, blow it out.
Blow it out big.
There's one thing about him, he will do that. We saw him last year on the 31 car. He was so intense.
Yep.
And I guess 2 years ago when they were able to win this competition, I mean, it's incredible, you know, what this team has gone through and what they've been able to accomplish. And I think they still hold the record for the fastest in as far as the event, the 31 at a 22:15.
There's Big Kurt.
Yep.
Played high school football at a small high school in Virginia, had 14 members on the team.
14.
I said, did you go both ways, Kurt? He said, buddy, when they blew the whistle, I never walked off the field.
Watch this intensity. We've seen this every year with Kurt Bowman. How about that focus?
47 years old.
Young.
Not a drop spilled there. Look at him stab it.
He is ready to go.
Derek Jennings, the gas man, hits the knob.
And Steve, he may have a bad knee, but he's sure not showing it right now.
Yeah, the 2017 was a little bit slow getting started, but I believe they're going to edge the 43 group out, and they will.
Good finish.
And Kurt had to pull up a little shy of the finish line, but what a gutsy, gritty effort by the veteran. Mike Shiplett, the crew chief, on the 43 looking on. There's Matt Clark, the pit crew coach in the red shirt.
22.809, but we'll have to see if we have clean, if we have no penalties.
Hey, want to mention, too, Eric Pringle, the front tire carrier on the 2017. He got bumped at Darlington as we watch Kurt Bowman.
You know, we brag about what he does and what he accomplishes, but you see the focus, and he knows where he's going already.
Boy, he was after that knob, wasn't he?
Yep.
See him limping a little bit, but gutty performance.
And when you see these guys go to that car to push it, they don't just grab it anywhere. It's already determined where they're going to get it and where they're going to push it.
You see the 2017 getting the advantage, and they will advance. Let's go to Bob Dillner.
Clean and green for the 2017 Curtis Bowman right here, the gas man. And you got some bum knees here, especially that left knee. Got to have an operation. You're sweating already, man.
It's early, but I'm old. Yeah, hopefully the knee will hold up. Get me through one more of these. Hopefully, 4 more rounds. But I'm all right.
He wants a second championship is what Curtis wants here. And let me tell you something. I saw the x-ray, Steve, so did you. That's bone on his left knee.
Yeah, no cartilage in that left knee for Kurt Bowman. Look at him just limping to get to that car. What a gritty performance. Look at that intensity.
He gives it his all. I mean, that's the passion that you can't see through television. I mean, you can really feel it here. These guys are giving everything they've got here tonight because they know how important it is, not only to themselves, but to their teammates.
He got emotional talking about it, back in the tunnel, saying, this is my last go at it, and I know that.
And you have to believe what's tough on Kurt Bowman is hopping that wall and then sprinting down there to that car and then having to try to be a part of pushing it.
Steve, I hate to say it like this, but I feel for Kurt because I know how I felt when I came off of pit road for that last time in competition and knowing I would not jack again.
How about the little driver for the one car over there? That's Taylor Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Oh, Taylor Nicole.
Dale Earnhardt Sr., Teresa Earnhardt's daughter.
It's great to see her involved.
So the Earnhardt Ganassi #1.
Steve, look at the push patches on the 16. They've got them everywhere. So if you get there, get that grip and get to going.
Now, we should explain here, there were some, let's say, irregularities in inspection.
There's several things that they do inspect these teams. They make sure that they have a working transmission and a working gear, and that they weigh 3,200 pounds, but they found some teams that actually shaved their tires to where they were almost like a point to put less tread, less rolling resistance.
Let's meet the 3M team. Ryan Dextrays is the gas man. Ryan Gamble is second gas man. Mike Lingerfelt. Colin Posey, Kyle Power, Keith McDowell, and Rodney Fetters, the oldest jack man in this competition. Rodney says, I'm 42 years old, still taking care of business.
Has a birthday Saturday.
That's right.
I could be.
There's Benji Grubb, the gas man on the one car. He's one of the best. Brad Pippa, Corey DeMarco, Doug Reapy, Chris Taylor, Adam Mosher. Mosher, I think, also the pit crew coach, and Tracy Duncan, the jackman.
Yeah, Chris Taylor, the rear tire changer for the one team. He served 4 years in the U.S. Marines, and then Adam Mosher played college football at Lenoir-Rhyne University.
Well, and Jeff talked about it now. Up and down pit road, they're almost all former college, high school athletes, even some professional.
There's a lot of teams recruiting. We take a look right here at Greg Biffle. He's eagerly watching to see whether or not his 16 team can pull it out or not.
Great crowd on hand tonight. Glad you're along. Greg Irwin, the crew chief, to the left there, the 16 team.
Tracy Duncan, the jack man for the one team. Kyle Power, Kevin McDowell on the rear.
Working pretty smooth back there. I love this shot right here. Like you said, 5 off, 5 on.
Boy, that 16 team, they are moving before I think the one car even got out of the box. No contest on this 40-yard push here.
Whoa,
phenomenal effort for the 16 team, a 22.276.
And that definitely will go straight to the top of the charts if we have no penalties.
I don't see. I see green zeros from the 16 team. Don't see any penalties in their lane.
Oh, I got a 5 over here.
Oh.
I got a 5 over here on the 16 side. That could be the end of the night for the 16 if that's the case.
Well, that could be a tough
Oh,
break.
that's going to be a tough loss right there.
Take a look at some of the replays. Mike Lingerfeld, the front tire changer.
Moved over from Hendrick Motorsports this year to Ralph Fenway.
Corey DeMarco and Doug Reapy, partners on the front there.
Yeah, Doug Reapy played college baseball, and he was the 2000 Connecticut Athlete of the Year.
Played at Wake Forest. We'll be back with more from the NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge right after this here on Speed.
Welcome to the NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge here at the Time Warner Arena in Charlotte, North Carolina. The next bunch going to battle here. The 78 team, Regan Smith, just that big win a couple weeks ago, and you got your guys into this contest because of it. How proud of you are of this team?
Well, I'm proud just because, you know, we won the race together, so it's really cool that they get to be in the pit competition now. And, you know, this is an important deal for them. It's an important deal for us for Saturday and everything going on. So hopefully they get a good time here. I'm more nervous now for them than I am before a race ever. This is pretty crazy, pretty intense.
How about that, Steve? He's all nervous here.
Yeah, big win for Regan Smith at the Southern 500. Britt Goodrich, veteran gas man, Ryan Bergenti, Ryan Pepe, Danny Baptista, Jonathan Sherman, Jason Fowler, and Gabe Martin. Veteran team. They come from Stewart Haas Racing, as a matter of fact. The Furniture Road team leases them on the weekends.
So to me, I think this is what's kind of ironic about this. Guess who they're going up against?
Stewart Haas Racing.
Basically, their teammates. Rick Pigeon right there, the gas man. Jeff Gooch Patterson, he's been around forever. Ira Joe Hussey, Todd Rockledge, Daniel Smith.
Mike Morneau.
Yeah, Joe Piet Jr. trains both of these teams as the pit crew coach at Stewart Haas.
Who's he pulling for? That's like having a favorite child, isn't it?
That's just kind of like close your eyes and see which one gets there first. You're going to win no matter what. This is the guy that I'm going to really want to be watching, is the driver right there, because I know how much they were cheering for him the other week in Darlington, how much he's going to be cheering for them tonight.
We just saw Britt Goodrich. He's a former NC State linebacker.
Saw Matt Casto, the jack man for Stewart Haas, the 14.
14's off and moving right now, guys.
Ira Joe Hussey does a great job on the front. 14 breaks away. Now we wait to see if it was clean and green.
22-26 on that 14. That could be the best time of the night so far. But if you go back to our seeding round with the top 8 teams, only 2 teams did not have penalties.
We've got one over here on that 78. We got a gassing problem over here. We got a 5-second penalty on them.
5 seconds for excessive spillage.
Oh. Trouble on the jack. There's Ira Joe Hussey, front tire changer.
See him reach in there with one hand and pull that tire wheel off.
The 14 team is going to win this. You see Big Rick Pigeon.
Now, I saw Jeff Gooch Patterson is handing him the gas can.
There's Britt Goodrich. He stabs the fueling system in. Gas can. Oh, he missed it.
There it is. There's the penalty right there.
Wow. We talked about mistakes.
You're going to talk to Brad about that.
So the 14 advances. Kim Kuhn, Miss Sprint Cup. Updates our bracket board, our own version of bracketology. And what a 2 big weeks of racing this is at Charlotte, North Carolina, the home for so many of these teams. Hall of Fame inductions on Monday, the Truck Series race Friday night, the All-Star race Saturday night. And then next weekend, the Coca-Cola 600. Let's go to Bob Dillner. It's time now for our Polaris Tick Tip.
Well, Steve, you guys talked about the tricks of the trade, some of the things that these guys try to do to the cars to get that big push going. Well, some of the legal things to do as Jeff Gordon's car gets lined up right here. Take a look at this. They put grip pads right here stuck on the C panel on the car. So that way when these guys come over there and they put their hand right there, they get a good old grip and get to push this car. The back window here right now is out of this car. So another guy can come over here and put his hand on a roll bar here and push really hard. You can see the grip pads all over the place. But a new thing that I'm seeing this year is usually we see the grip pads on the side of the car, but take a look at the rear of the car, crew chiefs, right here. Big old grip pads taped with some abrasive stuff so your hand sticks to it. They get a big old push right there, guys.
And Bob, the other thing for a safety standpoint, if you notice there's no shark fin down the left side of the back window on the deck lid. NASCAR had them remove them more from a safety standpoint than anything.
Well, say we got that non-skip tape on there. Grip it and rip it, guys. That's all you can do. Just let it go.
Now remember, because of the driver swap at Hendrick Motorsports over the course of the offseason, that 2014, that actually would have been the 5 team from 2010 that worked with Mark Martin.
Brad Pickens and Travis Gordon, the gas men, Kelly Kellis, Michael Oxendine, Josh Kirk, Gene Cornwell, and Bailey Walker.
Bailey Walker, 6'5", 305. Big boy.
I'd say that's a big boy.
56 team, you see Doug Newell, he's a veteran, Eric Maycroft, Corey Quick, Craig Curione, Shannon Myers, Mark Kennerlil, and Brian Chase.
Remember the big shakeup for this Napa team after the Richmond race. They made some changes, so I'll be anxious to see how they fare tonight when all eyes are watching them.
5 seconds away from mayhem.
It's time to prove to the world exactly how good you are, guys. When you hear that horn, it's time to lock and load.
Brian Chase up with one side, around to the other.
What Kelly Kellis, what makes that air wrench sound like music.
Doug Newell right there, they're going to the 56. Now the race is really on. 24 out to early lead.
The 24 team got there, well, they both got there at the same time, but look at the push. Look at the push by the 24 team.
And what was interesting about both them teams, all the team members went to the rear of the cars, the one that got there first.
Jeff Gordon looking on. And we need to mention these teams have been doing specific drills, specific workouts for this event at Hendrick Motorsports. They've been pushing, lead sleds, trying to work on pushing that car.
It's all about explosive momentum. I mean, that's what they're all about. Let's take a look at what you're talking about right here.
There's a sled we talked about, brand new facility at Hendrick Motorsports. That's just how seriously these teams take this competition.
It looks like we're getting ready for the NFL Combine.
Yes, it does.
Well, yeah, Greg Miller, the pit crew coach over at MWR, he told me pretty much that they didn't practice that much on the pit stops. This is what they practice for, this 40-yard push, because this is out of the ordinary from what they normally do.
Hey, we need to mention tomorrow on Speed, we'll see these teams in action again when they pit their teams, and that determines pit selection.
That's exactly right. Who wins this competition tonight, they'll get that number one pit selection. We know how important that can be. Plus, most of these teams will be participating in qualifying for the Sprint All-Star race because it's a 4-tire stop in the middle of those 3 laps of qualifying.
And you want to be up front if you can. These guys can help you out a lot.
Great crowd, a home crowd on hand at the Time Warner Cable Arena. Be right back. Tomorrow, racing's brightest stars come out for the biggest party in racing. Tune in as Jamie McMurray and Casey Kane stop by a special all-star edition of NASCAR Trackside tomorrow at 11 Eastern and only on Speed.
Means all the women will be coming out to see them guys.
I thought they were coming out to see you.
I'm too old.
That's a lie.
I'm not even going to go there.
No!
I'm not going to put a dog in this fight.
No. Big Ed Watkins, he played football at East Carolina University. Brian Rimpf, Trevor Lisney, Eric Bilyeu, Chris McMullen, Chip Good, and Mark Jacobs, the Jackman of 42 team.
Yeah, Mark Jacobs was a starter 3 years at the University of Kentucky, a defensive lineman.
Told you this field is totally full of unbelievable athletes. Talking about one right here, Mike Metcalf, gas man on Red Bull Racing, used to be a running back at Appalachian State. Brian Deal, Danny Kincaid, Jason Gay on the front tire, Chad Everett, Andy Brown, and Trey Berkline is the Jackman.
Trey Berkline went to the University of Miami as a quarterback. Played backup quarterback there before transferring to Coastal Carolina.
And I like how Andy Brown trained. He worked on farms in Pennsylvania his entire life.
Oh, the Dale Earnhardt workout routine.
Exactly
the Harry
right.
Gant routine.
There's Mike Metcalf right there. He's not as tall as most gas men are, but he is powerful. I've seen him in the gym. He is an incredible workout man.
A mountaineer.
He is.
Now remember, this first round is to advance to round 2, but also this is where the individual competition is still going on.
Saw Trey Berkline, again, a former quarterback. As a matter of fact, here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Mark Jacobs was holding his own with him, getting down there to that
I
car.
thought Danny was getting away from this a little bit.
Oh, boy, it's a tight race.
Yes, it is, but it looks like the 4 cars going to prevail. They really came on at about half of that 40-yard push. 22-4-4-2.
Juan Pablo Montoya in the house. Hometown fans loving the action here.
Now you see what they're doing? They're looking to make sure, did we or didn't we? Did we or didn't we? As those green signs pop up, there's a sigh of relief. I see looks to me like a 3-second penalty here on the front tire changer on the Juan Pablo Montoya 42 side.
Casey Kane, Kenny Francis to the left.
I do believe, though, that the Casey Kane, the Ford crew, I believe they're clean from penalties, Steve.
Makes it look easy.
Yes, they do.
Calf right there. Look at that athleticism. He hopped over it like he was a high hurdler.
You see him grab that grip tape right there on that right front fender.
Look at him drive. You think he's trying to run through the line?
Yeah, he is.
Steve?
Let's go to Bob Dillner.
Well, you guys mentioned Mike Metcalf, a former running back for Appalachian State University. I want to know, does that former football prowess help with this big push on this big old NASCAR stock car?
Absolutely. Get low and drive is what I've been hearing for years, so it's the same concept.
Former champion, are you still pumped up about this event and what's to come?
Yeah, it's only one time a year. You know, races, if the car's not good, then your pit stop may or may not matter, but it matters everything tonight.
I'll tell you what, he's working hard. He's sweating down here, boys.
Bob, let's take a look at Mike Metcalf, and as Jeff said, his athleticism.
Well, he's trying not to spill fuel, but make sure he gets it all in there.
He gets it all in there, but he hits the button, and he makes it look so effortlessly. Just whoop, whoop. I mean, he's gone.
Made every move count.
Made every move count. No wasted motion. And when he got to that race car, look what he's talking about. He's down low. He's got all his momentum out front.
He's going for the end zone, baby.
Baby. He's going.
He wants pay dirt.
He could go
all the way.
Saw an awful lot of 5 crew fans up there in the stand. Said the 5 is alive. Remember, this 5 crew is actually the 88 crew from 2010. You see David Rudiman. He'll watch his 00 team.
Let's go to Bob Dillner.
Well, guys, a really neat thing about the 00 team coming up next with David Rudiman. The interesting thing here is these guys said, you know what, this is a competition. We have a lot of rivals out here, but at the same time, it's about charity. And if they are able to go all the way and win this one tonight, David Rudiman's team is donating all proceeds to the Victory Junction Gang Camp.
And Bob, what that's going to do is send a child there this summer. That was their goal, is enough money to send one child to the camp for the summer.
Chris Fasulka, the gas man. Aaron Walker is also a gas man. Adam Emmert, Ben Fishbeck, Kit Wolfmeyer, the rear tire changer, Matt Myers, and Jeff Carr. Jeff Carr, veteran jackman. He also played football at East Carolina University.
Yeah, he's won individual competition here. He also donated some money one time after he won here.
A child
who had been hit by a lawnmower.
A lawnmower, yes, and suffered serious injuries. There's Chris Fasulka.
But the good thing about that tragic story has had a really great ending to it.
Yeah,
everything has turned out well, and all the operations and everything that's been done has really helped this young man move on. Let's take a look at this Aaron's Dream Machine team real quick. Evan Marshall, Getty Cabot, Ryan Langley, front tire changer, Chris Hall, carrier, Lee Cunningham, Don Marvel, the rear tire carrier, and Tony Camarati, the jack man. I mean, these guys are here. They're willing to lay it all on the line for somebody else. I think this really speaks very much volumes of what kind of character they really are.
We've had no repeat winner in this competition, but Greg Miller, the pit crew coach, has 2 wins with Evernham and Red Bull.
Final matchup of the first round.
Wow, Carr got to that car all the time. I mean, he was there for 3 seconds before anybody got to the 0-0. If they don't make any mistakes, there's no way.
This could be close to record, what I'm seeing. And if we don't have any penalties, that will be a new record.
21.919 seconds.
I mean, they shattered the record if we don't have any penalties.
Look at, no problem, no big deal. We know what you're doing. Oh, whoa, we got 2 penalties, guys. They got 2 penalties. Sometimes you got to slow down to go fast.
But we talked about it. You've got to throw caution to the wind if you want to win this thing. Roll the dice.
No penalties on the 0-0 car.
I mean, it is just, I mean, that's heartbreaking to know you've got the ability to wind up maybe have an opportunity to win this thing, but you beat yourselves.
And Jeff, that 0-0 team, they were 2 seconds slower than the 5 team, but no penalties. You can see right down there how many guys that 5 team got pushing that car right from the get-go.
It was incredible.
Clean stop for the 0-0 team. So they will advance. And let's go to Bob Dillner.
Well, Steve, we're already going to give away some cash here tonight at the Sprint Pit Crew Challenge here at the Time Warner Arena. Not only do we see some teams go to the second round, but we also have some champions, and we're going to meet some of the individual champions when we come back here to the Time Warner Arena, Steve.
Big crowd on hand for the Nascar Sprint Pit Crew Challenge. The Time Warner Cable Arena in Charlotte, North Carolina. First round action is complete. Let's go now to Bob Dillner.
And Steve, it's time to meet some of the individual winners here at the Sprint Pit Crew Challenge at the Time Warner Arena in Charlotte, North Carolina. These guys already $10,000 each richer here tonight. 2 teams represented on stage here. First, we got the gas man and the second gas man, Ryan Flores, Rick Pigeon. Rick, you've been doing this for 12 years and you finally got on stage.
It's been a long time, Bob. It's, you know, there's only 2 good things happening this year. I'm having my first child, my beautiful wife, Jill, and this. I mean, it's awesome. I like to thank Ryan, Office Depot, Mobile One, you know, Oh Yeah, New Balance, everybody that helps us in the gym, pit practice, all this stuff just to make this possible. It's pretty cool.
Okay, they are from the Tony Stewart team. We want to meet the front tire carrier and front tire changer right here. $10,000 richer, and I think we're going to get everybody up here. The rear tire changers and carriers as well. Pulver, I want to know, how excited are you to be up here?
It's real exciting the first time. The second time's even better.
All right, how about that? He said the money is going to go straight to his wife, by the way, which as it should be. But Case and Kruder, second year in a row you guys are up here. You guys got some chemistry going on in this 33 bunch. How about it?
It's a great bunch of guys. We just like to have fun and do our deal.
Case, usually he's Hollywood. He does all the talking. What's the matter with him right here? Tongue-tied from the joy and excitement?
Well, sitting here all night, I think he's got like an ulcer going on. You know, we went out first, and it's been hard sitting here all night watching all these guys go, so kind of feeling his pain.
Big congratulations to all 4 of these guys from one team, the tire changers and tire carriers. Now, last but certainly not least, Mike Casto, first time up here, a winner. How pumped up are you?
I'm pretty bumped up. A couple years ago, I had an accident down at pit practice, and I really didn't think I had a good chance to be fast again, you know. But tonight, got out here and proved I'm still fast, you know.
$10,000, buddy. What are you going to do with the money?
Well, these economic times, my girlfriend's had a little trouble, you know, so lost her job. So I'm going to donate to her, help her get some bills paid off and stuff.
I tell you what a nice guy. The champions up here of the individual competition. We got a lot more to come here at the Sprint Pit Crew Challenge at the Time Warner Arena. We are excited. Second round action coming up, including those from the seeding round earlier tonight here in Charlotte.
Guys. Speed's Ultimate Pre-Race Show gets you revved up for the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race. From racing's biggest names to the Pennzoil Ultra Victory Challenge, we've got you covered. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, live from Charlotte, Saturday at 4 Eastern. So the individual honors, the checks have been handed out. It's time to find out who the best team is.
That's pretty impressive that the 2 tire changers with their carriers, coached by Matt Clark up at Richard Childress Racing, that they sweep those individual awards.
Well, I want to go back to last Sunday. I think those guys beat a couple other good teams off the pit road and gave our driver an opportunity to win a race.
You know what? And Mike Casto, great for him. Coming back from an injury, tell you a little story. When Mike Casto got hurt, Tony Stewart, the Stewart-Haas team, realized, hey, we don't have a lot of depth on pit road. That's why they started a 3rd pit crew team. That 3rd pit crew team is now the pit crew for the 78 team.
Just kind of like, oh, by the way, if something does happen, we got to back up.
We need depth. They don't have a nationwide series team.
Well, you can say we've got the battle of the candy and the gasoline, or we got the battle of the Busch brothers teams. Kyle Busch and Kurt Busch, the 18 and the 22.
We're going to isolate on the tire changers. Jay Hackney on the 22. Nick Odell on the 18.
The winningest member of anybody on any crew when it comes to taking money away from this organization right here. As far as this competition, over $40,000 won by this guy.
Nick Odell was quite a bit in front, but it looks like that possibly this 22 team, they're going to take this round right here.
We need to see how they pull this one off. Steve Addington on the left, the crew chief on the 22. Trent Cherry is the pit crew coach on that 22, former quarterback at Lenoir-Rhyne University.
Clean on the 22, guys.
Trent Cherry's actually a pit crew member on the 2 team.
Tire carriers. Both stops were clean, no penalties. So 22.143 seconds for that number 22 team. Great look at Jeff Fender, the jack man. He's a veteran as well. There you see Nick Odell.
And I thought right here these guys were going to get a good jump on the 22 bunch, but it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, Nick Odell definitely was doing his job, but boy, this 22 group as a team, they win the 40-yard push.
So the 22 team advances.
And by the way, 22.143, we're getting, that's the top time of the night, and we're within about 3/100ths of that, what the record would be.
And the thing is, guys, we haven't really gotten into it, but now as we go around here, we're going to start getting into conditioning. I mean, that 40-yard dash, you can do it one time without a whole lot of trouble, maybe even 2, but now all of a sudden, the further you go into this competition, how are your legs going to feel? How's your wind? How's your focus?
Talking about pit crew coaches, we had Matt Clark from RCR and Trent Cherry from Penske on the Race Hub the other night. And so the rivalry started heating up there on that show. And Trent Cherry said, oh, is the pit crew challenge this week?
Playing a little bit of mind game.
He said, well, wait, I didn't even know. I didn't know it was this Thursday night.
Sure you did. You only started training the boys right after Thanksgiving for it.
And Matt Clark wasn't having any of it either, Larry.
What'd you have to do, finally separate them?
Almost, yes. Delana Harvick.
I believe we have a substitute driver since the seeding rounds.
And Jeff, you were talking earlier before we went on the air about how she was at the shop getting, everything squared away. I mean, this is a serious endeavor.
Well, you remember we had her and Kevin Harvick, her husband, on trackside last week, and she was already telling us, hey, don't forget, guys, I'm driving the 29. There's Gil Martin, the crew chief for the 29 of Kevin Harvick. See Ford, his son, right there to the beside him.
Got those 2 wins already here in 2011.
And there's them two big old Clydesdales right there for the 11, I'm telling you right now.
Scott Wood.
Yep.
And Justin White.
I'd walk down any dark alley with them two guys.
Yeah, Steve, you talk about it's going to get tougher as the night goes on. Just remember, the fewer the teams that we have, the quicker you're going to have to go back at it again after you win each round.
It's kind of like going back to the old football days there, quarterback, when you used to have to run wind sprints.
Yeah.
You remember that far back?
Oh, I do. There's a lot I don't remember, but I remember running gassers at the end of practice.
Eric Wilson right there. He used to have the fastest jackman time on an individual deal.
Now, Zach Price is normally the rear tire changer for the 29 team, but he was injured at home last week. Jeremy West will be substituting actually from the 31 team for Zach.
Denny Hamlin rooting on his 11 team. 10 seconds away from this second round matchup.
You know, Mike Morrison, the gas man for the 29 team, he's the only carryover crew member from last year's 29 pit crew.
Teams ready.
Eric Wilson ready to go into action with the jack. Up at the right side. Heath Cherry.
Yep. And now the race really begins here, guys. This is where it's going to come down to. Who can get her going?
Fans on their feet.
Look at the 11. They're trying to gain ground. They're a little bit behind right
This is
now.
where they've been so strong, though, just like they were a year ago. Woo.
22.23 to a 22.389.
And that was all about the push, and quite honestly, after they crossed about the 20-yard mark.
You talk about the kick. I mean, you've got to have some kick. You can see right there, Gil Martin, he's kind of sitting there hoping we'd get basically a clean run or somebody have a penalty so he can keep his team alive. But right now, it looks like both teams are clean.
No penalties on neither team, so this 11 team, they will advance.
22.230 seconds.
Scott Wood. But look, they were behind, and about right there is where they started gaining ground, just like a year ago with this group.
Yeah, watch the 29 here, Jeff and Larry. They have an advantage at this point, but here comes the 11.
And they didn't even get the last member pushing on the 11 team till they were about two-thirds away down.
Photo finish. Let's go to Bob Dillner.
And I'm standing with Denny Hamlin, and what did you just tell me when you walked up about that finish?
I was a little close for comfort. I thought the 29 actually got the beginning, the push really good. It looks like we got them right there in the long run. So it was good push by my guys. They, it's going to be a little bit tougher this year than what it was last year with us not being top 8 in points. We're having to run an extra round, so hopefully fatigue don't set in. These guys get all their fluids, and hopefully they just keep improving on their time.
All right, Denny Hamlin, a proud driver right now, 16/100th of a second. The difference here for the 11 team in that round. I'll tell you what, don't go away because we have a lot more coming up on speed. The second round continues for the Sprint Pit Crew Challenge.
Second round matchups continuing here at the Time Warner Cable Arena, the NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge presented by Polaris. Glad you're with us. Tell you what an inspiring story surrounding this 99 team. Jody Fortson, who has been with the team for a long time as a tire carrier, his father passed away unexpectedly this week and was buried today, understanding that Jody wants to be here, but this team really racing with a heavy heart for their teammate.
Yeah, this is Justin Edgell that has stepped in for Jody, and certainly our thoughts and prayers go out to Jody and his family.
And Jody wants to be at the All-Star race Saturday night. The team told him, do whatever you need to do. Look at Kurt Bowman.
As you say right here, we're taking a look at Kurt Bowman right here. He's the gas man with the 27 car.
John Wallace helping him.
Teams get off to pretty even start.
Here.
The 27 team starting to pull away.
They're letting it all hang out.
It's almost like the 99 team was disjointed, getting to their car and getting it going and getting it pushed.
It's almost like you go first. No, you go first. There's a lot of disorientation right there down there, Larry. You're right.
It's like they really didn't know where they wanted to grab the car and go.
Yeah, and this 2017, I want to go back and say it's another team that's been trained by Matt Clark up there at RCR. I mean, he does an outstanding job as far as the choreograph. A lot of veteran competitors. We talked about it. Kurt Bowman, former winner here. You know, Jake Glenn. They know what's going on.
And again, our condolences to Jody Fortson on that 99 team as his father was buried just today. As we look at the replays, Joe Karasinski, the gas man. Whoa!
That's going to be a 5-second penalty right there, obviously. Kale Upcroft, Alan Troutman, his carrier. You don't have to push those buttons now. The individual competition is over. It's about getting your individual job done and getting to that car and getting it pushed.
And Larry was sitting there watching the 27 car. Obviously, they win the race. But even with penalties, you see Kurt Bowman right there. Go on, guys, get it done.
And he's good for about 30 yards.
That's right. He has to pull up short.
But right now, at the moment, the 99 had a 5-second penalty. The 27 had a 3-second penalty. So they still advance, even with the penalty.
Let's go to Bob Dillner.
This is the secret weapon for Jackman Kerry Wimbish down here. The 27 team really doing good right now. How much is this a secret weapon, or is it the muscle in your arms?
Oh, it's just standard. There's no weapons here. We just got a bunch of guys with a bunch of big hearts. And penalty-free, we're going to try to go to the end.
All right, you can tell he's exhausted, but it is so much fun down here watching these guys with their blood, sweat, and tears.
And Steve, right now, he's talking about the breathing harder. I can still feel the electricity, and
Yes,
unfortunately, I can smell the adrenaline.
We're going to isolate on the gas men. Caleb Hurd is on the 88 team. You see Steve Letarte and his son helping give that car a push. And Benji Grubb is the gas man. Benji Grubbs, excuse me, the gas man on the 1 car.
Benji's been around a long time.
Now, because we're indoors, you know, these gas men, it's not really gas. It simulates gas. It's pretty much just colored liquid that they're going to be dumping into these cars.
Benji worked at Roush Fenway for quite a while.
Yes, he
did. Killer Bees.
He on the Killer Bees.
There's Caleb Hurd. Went to Virginia Tech. Nick Cubby, the second gas man. Clay Robinson. Mike Houston, they call him Tiny.
Huh? Are you kidding me?
Joe Slingerland, Matt Vermeer.
We need to say this again. Go ahead and
Lisa Smokestack.
Pretty lady behind the wheel, but you go back to Tiny. Let's don't forget, he used to be a professional wrestler.
And I believe that. I truly believe that.
Don't make me have to bring him up here.
Don't do that.
Between Kurt Bowman and Tiny, I'm not sure who has the most intensity over this competition.
Here's Tiny.
He looks gentle right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's just a big old teddy bear.
Remember, he's the one that threw Joe Slingerland a few years ago. Just threw him out of the way.
Threw him out of the way. Get out of my way, boy.
I thought he was going to throw the little parking lot meter out of the parking lot today because he couldn't get it to work.
Hey, check it out. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has showed up with cheer his guys on. And, Steve, one thing that this team has told me, as you see Steve Letarte talking to him, is the fact that they love him because he has really been quite a cheerleader for this entire group right here, and they believe in him. So if anybody's going to get him maybe to victory lane, it could be these guys here.
He's part of the race team, just like he's showing by being here tonight.
Benji Grubbs on the right, Caleb Hurd on the left.
Here's an area where a lot of guys have made mistakes here, so you want to make sure you get it in there right. Don't want to spill it.
But Caleb Hurd definitely in front of Benji Grubbs. No spillage, but definitely look at the 88 team get that car moving.
Look at Big Tiny. He just kicked it into another gear when he got back there.
In the 1 team, they didn't even get all their guys there till they were about 2/3 of the way down that 40-yard push, which certainly made a difference.
And look at Tiny, he likes it.
Some of them green. Some of them green. Some of the greens. Some of them green. I got news for you. If I was an official down there and he was holding me, I'd show it green.
Clean clean run for the 88 team.
I sure am glad that the way Tiny was walking back up pit road for them officials. He better give it green.
I can't wait till the next round with Tiny.
See Doug Reapy, Corey DeMarco, the tandem on the fronts there.
But you can see the 88 team had all 7 guys well before halfway.
Move! That's right, baby! Show me them green!
Let's go to Bob Dillner.
I'll tell you what, Dale Earnhardt Jr., you got some emotional guys on your team that just pulled off a heck of a pit stop. How proud are you?
Oh, that was an awesome job. It's a pretty fun event. It's good for the guys. They enjoy coming out here, performing in front of these fans. The fans seem to really get excited about it, so it's pretty awesome. Hopefully we'll get through the next round.
All right, Dale Earnhardt Jr. pretty excited down here. He was rooting his team on.
Signing some autographs for the kids. Great family event. Look at Tiny. Show me the green. Show me that green, baby. Saturday night on Speed, the stars come out and the gloves come off. The NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race on Speed. The best of the best lay it all on the line in a no-holds-barred dash for $1 million payday. The NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, Saturday, 7 Eastern, live and only on Speed as All-Star week continues here at the Time Warner Cable Arena.
You know what? I'm going to get a chance to work with my buddy here, Larry Mack, down in the Hollywood Hotel. We got some new tricks coming at you.
Oh,
new
toys.
That's right, baby.
Yes, sir.
Our next matchup, the 14 team of Stewart-Haas Racing versus the 33. And we've got a lot of individual winners in this matchup.
These are all-stars versus all-stars as far as this 14 and 33 crew is concerned.
Yeah, we don't have a lot. We've got them all on these 2 teams.
Yep.
Including that man right there. You just saw Rick Pigeon, the gas man for the 14 team.
I saw something where they jumped the start right there, and that could cost that 33 team a ton.
Brian Smith, the gas man for the 33 team. Joe Hussey.
You can't go, Larry, till you hear the horn. It looked like they moved before they should, but it don't make any difference right now. The 14 is going.
This is where they were so strong, and there's no question they shattered, I think, the old record, but we got to make sure there's no penalties. That's where they were in the first round.
And, Jeff, I saw the same thing you did. The 33 team jumped, and I think it got them completely out of sync.
Yeah, you see right here, they have no penalty, but it was a false start, and that will cost them. You can't do that.
But I'm looking over there right now. I think I'm seeing all green paddles on that 14 team, which means 0, no penalties. Have to double check here. But I mean 21-4-7-2.
And Larry, we talk about it as far as the pressure. You see them, they moved out of the box, and then you heard the horn right there. You can't do that.
And that threw them off sync, I believe, too, Jeff.
Yeah, that was Jason Pulver and Austin Craven, front tire changer and carrier.
I thought it was a rear tire changer because the way it looked right there, but I forget they got the car swapped from lane to lane.
14 team had a clean run.
Saw Andrew Childers. He did not let the car down. Had to go back and do that.
And Larry, look at that time.
Let's go back to Bob Dillner.
Well, Ryan Flores was one of the individual champions, $10,000 richer, but I know the team competition is what you're really wanting. I want to know, 23 years old, some of those old guys, you're breathing heavier than they are.
Oh, man, I'm little. I got to get to the back of the car. I'm one of the first ones in the car, but I can't thank the Office Depot team, Joe Piet, and all the guys for giving me this opportunity. I'm just so blessed to be here and helping these guys out, and Rick Pigeon for choosing me. I want to wish Linda Blewett back home in Jersey a speedy recovery. We love you.
All right, that's a good well wish. And the pride of Wall Stadium, New Jersey, Ryan Flores.
Well, let me tell you what they're the pride of right now. They are the new event record holders at a 21-4-7-2. They beat the record that's been in place for a couple of years, set in 2009, by over 0.6 of a second.
And Larry, if you don't think that Rick Pigeon is not a hoss, he got to that car and he got it rolling, and when everybody else got there, they just kept getting faster and faster.
Did you know Rick Pigeon is in this sport on a complete fluke? Was in the Charlotte area visiting. He was down from New Hampshire, ran into a guy that worked with Renzi Motorsports and said, "You're a big old boy. You ought to try this." Never left. How about that?
Stay. When it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You talk about meant to be. Here's a winning combination this past weekend from Dover.
Sir.
Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Finnick right there. Jimmy and Matt combined, they made a great call on pit road, got him track position, and then Matt capitalized on that track position and brought home his second win for 2011.
Tell you what, these fans are having a good time. They're all up dancing.
They rocking the house.
It's go time.
Yeah. And this is the 7th year for the Sprint Pit Crew Challenge. I think by far this is the biggest crowd we have ever had here in Uptown Charlotte.
You know, this event started as what was a nice idea, and it has turned into a huge event in terms of All-Star Weekend.
It really is. And again, if you go down through there and talk to these tire changers, and I'm just all these athletes are in this building, they'll tell you how much it means for them to come down here and be able to bring their families and their friends. Because, I mean, this is not home field advantage in my book. This is just home field, and having everybody here cheering you on, it means so much to you.
We know week in and week out, this 17 team, that Roush Fenway group, they are solid as a rock on pit road. All of those 350-something stops I talked about at the top of the show.
Hendrick Motorsports just a couple miles from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Roush Fenway Racing in Concord about 5 miles from the Speedway. So these guys bump into each other all the time.
All the time, and they all respect one another. But I want to go back to that 17 team, guys. You know, we nicknamed the Killer Bees because at one time they were sponsored by DeWalt. Now yellow and black. Are they still the Killer Bees because they're purple and gold?
They're still killing them on pit road pretty much. I know that.
I believe that.
Sean Ward, the gas man on the 17.
Cameron Cobb, the jack man. There's the warning horn.
Brad Pickens there a moment ago. There's the jackman Bailey Walker. It is 5 off. 5 on now. Take off.
Now this is a pretty dead even push right now, the 24 team, but here comes that 17 team. It's going to be close.
22.621 to a 22.99. Alan Gustafson and his son looking on. Jeff Gordon's crew chief. Now we need to find out as Matt Kenseth looks on if there are any penalties.
Well, what they're looking right now is to see if there's any penalties on that 24 team. That would be their only hope. 17 team is clean of no penalties right now.
Looks like the 24 is also, so they will advance to that next round.
22.62 for the 24 team. And they move on.
Josh Kirk, Gene Corwell on the rear. Josh, the tire changer. Solid as a rock right here.
I mean, that's as smooth as silk right there.
Kelly Kellis, Max Otzendine on the front.
But look at those guys when they sprint. I mean, they just go at it like there's no tomorrow.
For pushing that lead sled.
Or running from the crew chief, one of the two.
I believe Alan Gustafson approves.
Look at the emotion here at the Time Warner Cable Arena.
That's right, baby!
Friday, the battle will rage in Charlotte as racing's roughest truckers mix it up under the lights in a high-speed fight to the finish. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series from Charlotte tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern and live on Speed. Let's go down to the floor and Bob Dillner.
And take a look at the name on top of the 39 car. The wrong Newman, not Ryan Newman, Chrissy Newman. What are you doing behind the wheel of this machine here?
Well, I didn't think Ryan was light enough, so they put me in charge and having fun with the guys tonight.
Who's the better driver in the family? That's what we all want to know.
On the roads or on the racetrack?
Either or.
On the roads, me. On the racetrack, Ryan.
There you go, laying down some smack down here. She says she's the better driver on the road, guys.
I'll tell you something else, gang. She's supposed to be a pretty good helicopter pilot also.
Tony Stewart.
That pretty much is what his team did a little earlier in this round, is smoked them.
Yes, sir. I saw Tony Gibson, Ryan Newman. Gibson is Ryan Newman's crew chief, calls everybody old man. I asked him if he really called his wife old man one time. He said, I think it slipped.
I think, yeah. I think it's everybody. He's 100% when he does it.
Oh, man, everybody likes to talk about me coming from Charlotte, North Carolina, what they consider maybe the heart of stock car racing. Well, let's remember now, Tony Gibson, he comes from where the birth of speed, Daytona Beach, Florida. There's my hero right there, Mike Metcalf.
Former App State running back.
He's just an all-around good guy, too. I mean, he really is.
His athleticism is unbelievable.
He is focused on that gas hole. And it went right in. I didn't even see a drop.
No.
Got to make sure you get both those cans empty.
Watch him over the wall. Boom.
Trey Birkland.
The 39's moving quicker again, guys. Can they run them down? That's going to be the question. That's been their strong suit. It's not going to happen on this time.
Getting stronger for that 39 team. But did you
check this out, Larry Mack. 21-39. If that's clean, that's wow.
And just think about it. The other quick team has been the 14 team teammate to this 39 group. I mean, that was no contest right there.
Guys, we've got a penalty.
I see nothing but green over here.
Understanding a 5-second
there
penalty.
it is.
For excessive gas spillage.
Yeah, gas spillage.
They got that 39 car moving so quick.
Take a look at the replay. Andy
Looked good in the first one.
Andy Rieger, the gas man.
Right there, when he took it away, too much spillage right there. It looks like what got him in trouble.
Gannon Keys.
Scott Brzezowski.
They were fast on changing these tires. I mean, blistering fast.
Wow, great views of these teams hard at work.
Brandon Hopkins, James Holt in the rear. But the push was the big difference in that whole effort right there.
Bob Dillner.
Tony Gibson is the crew chief for the 39 team. Man, it looked good. And I saw when that penalty was announced, man, you're like, darn it.
Yeah, you know, it's tough. These guys give it everything they got, and it's the same way at the racetrack. You know, they're trying to do it as fast as they can and as clean as they can. And, you know, I think it was a gas penalty, so it was probably just a little bit too much in the can. But, you know, I can't say enough for these guys. That was the fastest push of anybody tonight at 21:39, so got to be proud about that. All the work went in the car. Support the U.S. Army is awesome, so I just want to say hey to all the soldiers out there to support us so we can come tonight and do this sort of thing. So it's all good to them.
Hey, Steve, I tell you what, they lost that round, but that was spoken like a true winner.
The message Tony Gibson was giving there, guys, you just give me stops like that week in and week out. I can handle a little gas spillage.
All right, first question. What team building activity does the number 33 pit crew?
Next matchup will be the 48 of Hendrick Motorsports.
Steve, they were showing us a moment ago the impact wrench that a lot of these teams use in this competition. I mean, that's their own personal gun right there. I mean, that's what they use every Sunday. They've got it custom fitted to them as far as the grips are concerned. Even the sockets, they like to break them in their own selves. I mean, there's just so many things about it that they have. This thing is personalized. See the big button? Some of them use a big button right there to change it back and forth as far as on and off is concerned. Everybody has their own little kind of like, you know, idiosyncrasies when it comes to working with different pieces of equipment, whether it's the impact wrench or the jack.
So it's the 48 against the 00 of Michael Waltrip Racing.
You think about it, it's been about well over an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes since that 48 team was in the seeding round, so they've had quite the rest.
Been an intense night from the very beginning, and the intensity is only ratcheting up.
But Larry, let's remember something. The 48 hadn't made a mistake in the seeding round. They make that same mistake here, they're more than likely going to be gone to the house.
Yeah, they had a 3-second penalty for a lug nut on the rear.
So this to me is what's so important about this deal. Talked to the pit crew coach, Greg Moore, and he said, Jeff, this is where when you make a mistake, can you put it behind you and rebound? And that's what he's saying. These guys he's been training can do this. They can make a mistake and they can rebound, and this may wind up being the difference between who winds up going advancing in this round are going home.
All right, on your left, TJ Ford. On the right, Tony Cardamone.
Now they're at the far end, so they have they get finished the quickest, but they get the longest run.
Right TJ now, Ford was there quickest.
TJ got there. Yep. He's got him rolling. This drive to the finish is going to be the race, so Steve.
They got all 7 guys to that car much quicker than the 00 did.
Chad Canals likes it. Crew chief on that 48 team.
Now, by no means is that the fastest time of the night, 22.225, but it's pretty quick.
They're all clean and green on the 48, so they will advance.
The 00 team gave it a great effort, but they are eliminated. Guess what? Time for semifinal action. Bob Dillner.
Jay Canals, the crew chief for the 48 team. Definitely, you know, a big decision for you last year to do that change with the crew and so forth. But how about these guys doing what they're doing tonight?
Doing a really good job. A lot of them, it's the first time they've ever been in a situation like this. So it's touchy for me. You know, it's exciting. So it's really neat to see these guys be able to go out and do it on race day. They've been doing a really good job getting the rhythm and really understanding what it's about to be in competition in the Sprint Cup Series. But to be in a tight environment like this, you know, the pressure's really on. And obviously they're doing a good job so far. They were seeded very well and won their first round. So hopefully we can keep it going.
I tell you what, Steve, like Chad just told me, no penalties, and that's key.
And we have 3 Hendrick teams that are going to be in this next round.
Here's our great 8. Semi-final action coming up here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hope you're enjoying the All-Star festivities here on Speed. Chad Canals likes it, and we'll be right back. Saturday night on Speed, the stars come out and the gloves come off for the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race on Speed. The best of the best lay it all on the line in a no-holds-barred dash for $1 million payday. The NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race, Saturday at 7 Eastern, live and only on Speed. I want you to look back. The 48 team, look at the push they get. TJ Ford.
One hand on the car, one hand trying to get the tire rolling.
Amazing strength and athleticism. Into the semifinals now.
Getting into crunch time.
22 team from Penske Racing. Chris Williams, the gas man. Big Scott Wood, gas man on the 11 team.
Nate Boland, the jack man for the 11 team. Looks like he's definitely going to get to that 11 car. I mean, quick, he gets it rolling. But this is where the 11 team has been so strong. I think they want to become the first repeat winner of this pit crew competition.
Trying to defend their championship. Question is it clean? Mike Ford, Denny Hamlin supporting their over-the-wall gang.
This is the moment you kind of sit there and hold your breath. If you look, all of a sudden, all you can see is green, green, green.
But they're doing exactly what they did a year ago. I think I've already mentioned this a couple of times. It's almost like as the night goes on, they get faster.
Nick Prismanich and Brandon Pegram on the front.
Nate Boland, the jack man.
Big Nate gets over the wall in a hurry.
I mean, he gets down to that car and gets it going. And that's been their secret all along.
Get it at least rolling a little bit. And then the rest of the guys will get there to help you.
Keith Cherry and Mike Hicks on the rear. Let's go to Bob.
Nate Bowling, the jackman for the 11 team. How bad do you guys want this for a second time?
Nobody's ever repeated. We want to be the first. We're hungry for it.
Look at his face, too. You're bleeding a little bit. What's that about?
Before we started here, I put ketchup on my face, make it look like I'm working hard. But so we're going to get after here.
He said at least he looks like a tough guy, guys.
Well, that's a fact.
Well, he talks about that, but 3 rounds so far on this 11 car.
The next one's going to come up in a hurry.
It is. Shorter period of time to catch your breath.
trying to defend their championship, and you heard Nate say it. They want to be the first to repeat.
Well, I can tell you right now, Steve-O, if they're able to do it, they're going to have to go through some tough competition.
I tell you what, we got two of our heroes, Mike Tiny Houston, there he is, and the veteran 47-year-old Kurt Bowman needing knee replacement, gutting it out tonight. Let's go to Bob.
A little rivalry, guys, here I want to mention during this race. The 27 car here, this is Craig Smokestack. He is the car chief on the machine. Well, you know what? The rivalry is because his wife is driving the 88 machine, Lisa Smokestack. So a battle of the households here during this round of the pit crew competition. And you know what? I don't think that spells good for maybe dinner tomorrow night.
Could be a testy ride up Interstate 77.
Somebody may have to walk.
Lisa, a long-time tire specialist at Hendrick Motorsports.
That 27 team, that's the last bullet in this competition for Richard Childress Racing.
That's right.
We'll look at the back of Nick Covey right there, guys. He used to play at the University of Nebraska as a football player. So these guys, I mean, they have brought some serious strength to this competition tonight.
Let's quickly get to Bob.
Lisa Smokestack inside the car. I just mentioned your husband's team is right next door. This doesn't bode well for dinner tomorrow night.
Well, actually, I'm not really worried about dinner. I'm worried about going across the start-finish line first. This is all about some pride, not eating.
Take a look at her, too. She's all hopped up on that wheel, ready to get up and do the bunny hop and get that car going a little bit faster on the push.
You know, based on that interview and based on Chrissy Newman, they don't have a problem talking a little smack when they get in these race cars, do they?
No. Forget dinner.
I would say something right about now, but you know what? I don't think it'd be very smart.
Leave it alone, Jeff Hammond. Let it go. There's Kurt.
Bob did a little sprint.
Good hustle.
In that interview.
Good hustle. Look at Kurt. Paul Menard. Slugger Slugger right next to him. I don't think I've ever seen Paul without a hat on.
You know, come to think of it, I'm not sure I have either.
Didn't recognize him there for a second. There's Clay Robinson.
Caleb Hurd, and there's Curtis Bowman again. I mean, that's about as direct in as you can get right there.
No spillage. That might be a costly mistake right there by the veteran.
The two Jackmen, though, they get to these cars down here almost simultaneously.
Boy, it's a dead heat right now.
It truly is.
88 nudges.
Ooh, that was close.
1/10 of a second difference.
And I'm looking at Kurt Bowman. He is sitting on the wall, holding his left knee, talking to one of his teammates. Tiny celebrates. There's Mike Houston.
I think he's saving a little energy now.
Yeah.
There's the penalty on the 27, Curtis Bowman. A little bit of spillage in that second can. The 88 team is clean, so they will advance. Perfect here, but watch when he puts his second can in. Just kind of catches it just wrong, Jeff.
Just that little bit right there. And again, it could be because of that knee getting a little bit tired as far as late in this competition. He's been trying. You see him pull up right there, guys. I mean, he gave it his all. But that one little bitty mistake right there may have cost his team an opportunity to get this win. I mean, it was very close.
That's what, 1/10 of a second. But, Bob, I think you got the man that wants to see the greens.
I do. They call him Tiny, but he's anything but small. Tiny, want to talk to you about that push. A heck of a push by you guys. And are you okay? Because you took a tumble.
Yeah, I did. Hey, first off, whoever Jeff Hammond is, he's been wanting my autograph, so tell him I'm going to get with him. Right after competition, I'll give him that autograph. Now listen, all around the country we go racing. They've been calling us the ACD crew. Finally asked the guy, hey man, what is that? He said, you guys are the amp charge demolition crew. I said, you know what, brother, we are. Because when we're at the damn track and we're drinking the amp, we're getting charged up, hanging out with the National Guard guys, figuring out who we gonna demolish. And that's just what happened, baby.
I tell you what, you gotta love Tiny, spoken like a true wrestler.
The only thing you need right now is, woo!
just not sure about that interview.
Tiny demolished Bob's haircut. That's what he demolished. Like racing, like money, well, like Speed on Facebook for your chance to win $10,000. Watch the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race Saturday on Speed to get a special code that'll give you more chances to win. With 10 grand on the line, what's not to like? Let's take another look at Tiny hitting the deck. He's pushing. All in right there, boys.
Now, why do I want a man's autograph if it falls down on the job?
I didn't realize you were on a quest to get his autograph.
I didn't either until just now.
Are you stalking Tiny?
I don't think so. But I do like the way he talks smack.
Just remember, to be the man, you got to beat the man.
That's exactly right.
By the way, Ric Flair lives in Charlotte, North Carolina.
You do a great Ric Flair. You did that on trackside a couple years ago.
I did. I became Ric Flair.
Here we go. Mike Casto, the Jack man for the 14, the individual winner from the Jack competition.
Gene Cornwell and Josh Kirk right there on that 24 car in the rear.
Look at Ira Joe Hussey, how quick he is.
Now to get it done. Look at his 14 crew. They get it going, guys.
But that 24 is coming back a little bit, but too little, too late.
Oh, some guys hit the deck on the 14.
22.213.
Todd Draculich, Ira Joe Hussey, Mike Casto, Mike Schreck-Morneau.
Guys, bad news on the 24. I see yellow on the rear tire changer. It looks like to me I got 6 seconds worth of penalty on that car.
See Rick Pigeon and Ryan Flores won the individual gas competition. Whew, just solid as a rock with these fuel cans.
Schreck-Morneau and Daniel Smith on the rear. Oh, whoa.
So they did that with only 6 guys pushing that race car.
I saw one go down. Wow,
man.
He took a shot.
But you could see the car drifting to the right. Let's look at it right here. And this is Mariah Graham. She's actually the shock specialist girlfriend driving, but they're telling her, don't move the steering wheel. Just let the car take its own.
And there was not a lot of room to the right between that car and the wall. Bob?
One with the driver and owner of the 14 team, and you must be proud of your guys because I think about a half dozen of them hit the deck in that run.
Yeah, I thought I was the only one on the team that wrecked, but no, these guys are doing an awesome job. This is a tough deal. This is much tougher than it looks to sit here in this kind of environment. I mean, they're used to doing everything on pit road. Everything's always the same, and this is a whole different deal, but really, really proud of these guys. We had 3 guys that got individual awards tonight, and they're in the finals now, so really proud of these guys. Are doing an awesome job.
All right, Tony Stewart, all smiles down here so far.
Another look at what happened. Wow.
Just ran out of room. There just wasn't enough room there.
You know, you said they did it with 6. They really only did it with about 5.
About 5.5, yeah.
He finally got back there, but I mean, that was close.
Yeah, look, Daniel Smith gets run over by Rick Pigeon, no less. All 6'5" of him.
And he never checked up.
No.
You know, that might have left a mark.
Yeah, I believe it did. So Tony Stewart's 14 team advances.
So next up, we will have the 48 team, the Lowe's team, and the 4 Red Bull team. Red Bull won this competition back in 2008, but it was with the 83 team.
It's kind of like, ow. Did they get the number of that truck that run over me?
I bet you here by the next round, he won't even know that even happened to him.
That truck has a name. Rick Pigeon.
Rick Pigeon trucking.
Hey, at that time he got hit by a carrier pigeon.
Yes, he did. Frady, Wass, Simmons, Teague, Terrell, and TJ Ford, the Jackman for the 48 team.
Mike Metcalf Jr., the gas man. Brian Deal will be his partner.
They're coached by Lance Monksgaard.
Now, these guys got a lucky break the last time.
They did.
They've got to pick it up. They know if they want to win this competition, they're going to have to put that last stop behind them and bring back their A game.
Competition is pretty much like 4 individual mini teams: the jack man, the gas man, the rear changer and carrier, front changer and carrier. Then it becomes that team effort when you're trying to push that 3,200-pound car for 40 yards.
And Jeff, you talked about this. These teams, these guys are tired now, making their job even more difficult.
We're going to find out about the conditioning, whether or not they're really prepared to get the job done here, because this is what it's going to come down to now, because these rest periods get shorter and shorter. Right now, the 48's got guys there, and they got that 48 going.
Yeah, they got 2 or 3 guys there a lot quicker. The Red Bull team's coming, but I believe the 48 team is actually getting stronger at the end.
Another nice win for the 48 team.
How about that time? 22:054.
I see nothing but green here on the 48 side.
Looks clean and green for the 48.
The 4 is clean, but that is not a good enough time to beat the 48. So it all came down to that one final push once again, and the 48 team come out on top. They got their car rolling fast.
Yeah, TJ Ford, the jack man, he got to that car much quicker than Trey Birkeland did, the jack man for the 4. But you can see right there, it's like they just poured the steam on.
Another great job by that 48 team. And the brackets have been narrowed. The final 4 coming up here on Speed. The winner of this matchup will advance to the championship. Dale Earnhardt Jr. watching his 88 team, and Jeff Hammond, when we came on the air, you said that the 11 team and the 88 were 2 teams to watch.
Yeah, these guys, everybody down, like I say, in the pit area, said these guys have really shown it through all the practice rounds. We know how good this 11 team is from last year, and I think right now the 88, along with their driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr., they've got something they want to prove. They want to prove that they belong here. They want that trophy. They want that money. They want to get him in victory lane.
And these 2 teams so far, they've been pretty much mistake-free, and they've been consistent throughout the entire competition.
Look at Tiny carrying that tire like it's a pillow.
For Clay Robinson, who's actually the tire changer on the front of the 88.
And it looked like the 88, they made a quicker exchange and got around the car. Could help them get to the car faster. And right now, the 88 is off and going. It's all been down to the
But the 11's coming. The 11's coming.
They're coming back. It's going to be a photo finish on these guys. Woo! 22.258 for the 11 to 22.325 for the 88. But we have to check the penalties first. 7/100ths of a second.
All green on the 11 side.
Trying to defend their championship. No penalties on the 11. 22.259. The 11 team will go to the championship round.
Nick Skrmanchik and Brandon Pegram. Front tire changer and carrier.
How quickly Brandon gets to the car. I think that had to be part of it right there, Larry. They got that car rolling, and they just came driving back by the 88.
Yeah, the 88 got rolling first, but about halfway, that's where the 11. That's what 7/100ths of a second looks like right there.
Looked like Talladega. So the 11 team serving notice. They want to defend their championship. Who will they face? We'll find out. Campede. Who will the 11 team face in the championship round? We're about to find out. The 48 team from Hendrick Motorsports against the 14 from Stewart Haas Racing.
And pretty much on the 40-yard push, going against that 14 team of Stewart-Haas has been no contest. So far, they set a new record, and it's been the quickest of the night by far at a 21-4-7-2.
But I want to point out something, Larry. This 48 team has definitely been no pushover either. They've been right there, right in the shadow of that 14 as far as their times are concerned. So, I mean, these guys are pretty evenly matched, if you ask me.
Jeff, if you were the pit crew coach, what would you be telling these teams right now?
Do your job. Just do your job.
Do what got you this far.
Exactly.
Don't change the game plan.
You know, you don't have to pump them up. If they don't have their game faces on, if they don't know what they got to do, there's nothing you can say that's going to get it done. I mean, it's just that simple. Leave them alone. Let them do what they know how to do.
Remember, on that last push, the 14 team ended up with a big crash with some of their guys now, about halfway down.
Was that
Ira Joe
just sitting there just kind of laughing and kind of cutting up? I guess everybody's got their way of kind of diffusing the pressure. I mean, everybody's got their way. Hey, just kind of have fun, be loose.
This will determine the championship matchup with the 11 team.
Mike Casco, the jackman for the 14, Stewart-Haas, already headed down. But TJ Ford, he's going to beat. But look at the 14 team. I mean, they get that car moving so quick. It by far is not their fastest time of the night, 22.58. But there you see a 5-second penalty. Both teams on fuel.
On fuel, so it doesn't help the 48. It helps the 14.
Yeah, the 14 team gets a
10 on
that
14,
one.
so all of a sudden now they've got double penalties over there on the 14. If what we're hearing is correct, I'm waiting to see the paddle. It looked like it had double five. Did not get it hooked up right at all.
So the 48 team will advance. You saw Rick Pigeon having trouble with that first stab of the gas can.
See if we can see what, there's some spillage right there, twice right there on the 48 also.
Brandon Harder, the gas man for the 48 team.
That right there may have been a judgment call, guys, but it looked like they both made about the same mistake.
But there was 10 seconds of fuel penalty on that 14 team, so the 48 team will advance.
So can the 48 team, the 5-time team of Hendrick Motorsports, dethrone the 11 of Denny Hamlin? We'll find out. It is championship showdown time now at the Time Warner Cable Arena. Just moments ago, Chad Knaus and other members talking about it coming up.
Nothing to lose here, boys. Nothing to lose. Do it. Penalty, fuck it. Do it. Fucking do it. Do it all. Keep on doing it.
Chad Knaus pumping up his team.
And I think part of what Chad's trying to say, they've won 5 Sprint Cup championships, but Hendrick has never won a pit crew competition with any of his 4 teams.
Yeah, I think they've even had a tough time getting a team to the final round.
You know, the 48 has never made it past the second round, so these guys have accomplished a lot here tonight.
Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR. We're going to take a look at the previous winners of the Sprint Pit Crew Challenge.
I mean,
as you can see, we've never had a repeat winner.
No organization has even won it twice.
Bob Dillner.
All right, Joe Gibbs, the coach down here. Your team going for 2 in a row in the Super Bowl of Pit Crew contest. Give them a motivational speech. What would you be telling them?
They get to make money. That's all you got to say. Hey, I think this group's done a great job. We're proud for FedEx and the whole group here. A lot of hard work goes into this, and these guys get excited about this. It's fun to be on a night where the pit crews have a lot of attention.
I can tell you what, I can tell the coach is pretty excited about his boys, too.
He just called the offense over, and they got one more play in the Super Bowl. Right. All the time's going to be gone.
Well, I think right now, Larry, what it comes down to is everybody, once again, they know what they've got to do. Do they have it in them to be perfect one more time, and can they let it all hang out, which I think they can. We're going to be running on adrenaline for sure in this final round. And don't be surprised, Steve, if we don't see the fastest run of the night right here.
All right, I'm going to put you boys on the spot. Who do you like, Jeff Hammond?
I like the 11.
Larry Mack?
I like the 48 because they have been a little bit quicker. The 11's been consistent, but the 48 has been a lot quicker. But it could come down to, just like we saw in the last round, who will not make the mistake.
Fans are on their feet. Bob Dillner.
Down here, and you can feel the atmosphere growing here. Greg Morin, you were the pit crew coach. You got your team together. What did you tell them?
This is what it's all about. We practice for that money stop, that one opportunity to shine. We're here to do it right now.
Here it goes. He told the team, head down, Steve.
And Steve, the thing about Greg Morin, he told me earlier, this year, 20% of their team from a year ago were non-athletic. I mean, they just did not have athletes on their team. This year, that number has gone to 90%. I'm talking about former college players, professional players. They know how to handle this kind of pressure. He can put this kind of pressure on them because they know how to respond. He told me, he said, Jeff, you can take a mechanic and teach him athletics. But the other reverse thing, when you take an athlete, you can teach him how to be a mechanic, and you get a better athlete because of it. And that's what he's talking about here right now. These guys, he feels like, are the best of the best on pit road right now.
They're going to have to go through that 11 team, though, Larry Mack. Those guys, Nate Bowling, Scott Wood, you see right there, they just don't make mistakes.
And even though there's been a little bit of time, remember the 48 team just did a stop.
Yep.
Just less than 5 minutes ago.
And it was the slowest stop of the night for them, guys. They got by one. They really did. And they made a mistake on that last run. Can they rebound? Can they respond? This is what's going to separate them.
Hey, and how about the irony? They went down to the final lap of the Homestead Miami Speedway last year to determine the championship.
These are definitely the two that went to the end.
It's a chance for revenge.
And Mike Ford and Chad Canals took shots at each other at the end of the season. Let's see what happens.
You almost have to block that other team out.
And that's
focus on your
Wood is
job.
doing. Look at him. He's focused on where's his target, Larry? What's he looking at? The target.
That and that only. That's all he sees.
Boom. He hit it right there like he's supposed to. Can he do it again? Boom.
No spillage whatsoever. But the two jack man,
go get him.
Bo and TJ Ford, they get to the car at the same time.
Oh, here we go.
But look at the 11. They're getting it going, guys. This is going to come down to the drag race.
Can they defend? Can they defend?
Yes.
Yes, they do. Now, are there any penalties? Are there any penalties?
All eyes are back up through there looking for the green panels. They're seeing it. The 11 car says, we've done it. We've done it.
22.298, a model of consistency.
Excuse me. Did I say something about who was going to win this thing?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Clean stop for Nate Bowling, Nick Prismanich, Brandon Pegram, Heath Cherry, Mike Hicks, Scott Wood, and Justin White.
The first repeat winner,
you earned it,
of the Sprint Cup Series Pit Crew Challenge.
You earned it, guys.
And they are going to celebrate. And they're going to walk into the Charlotte Motor Speedway tomorrow with their heads high and their chests out.
And the #1 pit selection for the Sprint All-Star Challenge on Saturday night.
Let's take a look at how they did it, guys. Beating the 48 team on pit road.
This is where they've been so strong, just right there on that push. They knew they had it.
Telling you right now, Justin White, Scott Wood, they got that 11 car rolling, and they drove their heads down. They made it happen, guys. I mean, the 48 made a valiant effort, but it didn't work. But looky here.
Nate Bowling.
I got it. We got it.
Arms in triumph as he crosses the start-finish line. He knew they had it. For the second year in a row, the FedEx team stand victorious. When we come back, we'll talk to the 2011 champion.
Look.
The NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge is presented on speed by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by Camping World and the Good Sam RV Club. Everything for the RV lifestyle, including RVs, accessories, warranties, insurance, roadside assistance, and more. And by Mobil One, the world's leading synthetic motor oil. Put some NASCAR in your car with the One Mobile One. Let's take a look at our Polaris winning moments presented by Polaris. The 11 team consistent all night long.
Scott Wood, again, I keep talking about him, but those guys get that car rolling. It's so important. And then they just drive through it, and the rest of his team, and they catch up. Look how much faster they went toward the end, Larry.
Yeah, I mean, they're precise about who's going to go where to push that 11 car.
Denny Hamlin likes it. Mike Ford loves it, too.
And don't tell me he's not competitive. I mean, he's not even involved, and you can see how competitive he is.
Wanted to make sure they didn't have no penalties. You can see the look on Mike Ford's face.
Nate Bowling and the boys go back-to-back, Bob Dillner.
Back-to-back for the first time ever, the NASCAR Sprint Pit Crew Challenge. These guys are happy guys down here. Jubilant times. Scott Wood, Gasman, 2 times over. Back-to-back. What does that mean, buddy? That's a little bit cold. You're speechless now, aren't you?
Let me tell you, the reason we're up here right now is because we got a bunch of teammates that are unselfish. There's a lot of good teams went home tonight because they had penalties, and we put our individual stuff behind us and went for the team goal tonight, and we succeeded because we got a bunch of good teammates.
I tell you what, very good teammates. Heath Cherry, let's get you up here. You're one of the veteran guys on this team. What does this mean to win 2 in a row?
Well, first, I just want to say this is a blessing from above. This is just a gift of God, so I want to thank him first for what he's given our team here tonight. It just takes no mistakes. You know, we came into this thing focused on winning the deal. We put individual stuff aside, went for the goal, and as you see tonight, no penalties. Just a total team effort. It's awesome to be back here again this year.
I tell you what, awesome seeing all these guys down here. They're going to spray the champagne in just a moment, but a lot of jubilant times down here, and they are just a little bit richer, Steve.
Steve, all I can say is you hear these guys talk about it. If you look up the dictionary under the word teamwork, you'll find out it's when you take your individual needs and aspirations and put them in your back pocket for the betterment of the group. This is what these guys did, and the end result was, hey, show me the money.
And Larry, at the top of the show, I said we'll see intensity, athleticism, and teamwork, and that race team personifies it.
And I've got to add consistency to that race team. But I love the fact that it's almost like they rehearsed what they were saying, but we know they didn't. It was about that 11 team tonight from the minute they rolled in here to the Time Warner Arena.
And the thing is, guys, I mean, they're 5 stops never varied more than 0.2 of a second. A 22.42 to a 22.25. I mean, that's incredible.
And they get to be the hometown heroes for the second year in a row. Joe Gibbs Racing, just 20 miles up the interstate here from uptown Charlotte. And they get to walk into the Charlotte Motor Speedway tomorrow. We'll hope you'll be with us for that, for practice, qualifying for the $1 Million Showdown, boys.
Maybe we're just getting started here on All-Star Weekend here on Speed.
And thinking about that qualifying, these boys will play a role in that, too. A 4-time stop in those 3 laps of qualifying.
For Jeff Hammond, Larry McReynolds, Bob Dillner, and the entire Speed crew, I'm Steve Burns. Thanks for spending All-Star Weekend with us. Enjoy the fireworks.